Look at Ibrahim alayhi salam. He called out to Allah. Imagine where he was. He was in the desert with his wife and child. And he called out to Allah. And he says, "Oh Allah." Verse number 126 of Surah Al-Baqarah. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا بَلَدًا آمِنًا وَارْزُقْ أَهْلَهُ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. Remember the time when the Prophet Abraham, may peace be upon him, called out to his Lord saying, "O my Lord, make this town or a safe place, secure this town and grant its inhabitants with lots of produce, different types of fruit and vegetable and so on." Look at Mecca today. He was speaking about Mecca. It was barren. Nothing grew there. It didn't even have water at one stage prior to this. And Allah caused the gushing spring of Zamzam to flow. Up to this day it is flowing, and Allah caused all fruits and vegetables from across the globe to come there. So never lose hope. When you call out to Allah, if you don't see the fruit of it immediately, you may see it long term. And if you didn't see it in your life, you would see it later on. And part of the hope and healing is to be able to pray for those whom you haven't seen from your progeny and the progeny of others. Subhanallah. Imagine the amount of hope Ibrahim alayhi salam had when he's praying for his offspring. He prayed for us, literally, by asking Allah to make this place beautiful. In fact, he says, "Oh Allah, I pray that you make the two of us submitters, and even from our families, I'd like to see my family and my progeny submitters unto you." How many of us pray for our progenies? How many of us pray for our children? "Oh Allah, grant me goodness and my children and my progeny, my offspring. Oh Allah, keep them steadfast on faith. I am being strong with my prayer. Keep my children also strong with their prayer." That's the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam. He also goes out to say, "Oh Allah, let the hearts of the people incline towards Mecca." My heart's inclined towards Mecca. I can't wait to go back to Mecca, to Mukarramah, once all these restrictions are lifted, inshallah. And the same applies to most of us. If I were to tell you, let's go to Mecca, the majority of us, those who believe, will all say, "Let's go." MashaAllah. May Allah gather us in His obedience in this world and the next. And Ameen to that dua that I just made right now. So my brothers and sisters, this is something amazing. It's the gift of Allah. And that's why when he said, "Oh Allah, from my offspring, make prophets who will come and remind people to do good and remind them to stay away from bad," Allah gave him that dua. And all the prophets who came after the Prophet Abraham were from his family. Whoa. A lot of hope in listening to these stories and in knowing what happened thereafter. So in my life also, I'm going to pray to Allah and I'm going to make sure that I have hope, because the same Allah who responded to those du'as will respond to mine and yours. أقول قولي هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد.